And good morning on January 1st at 1:11 a.m. 2013. I haven't been to bed yet. I welcomed the new year in with a friend at the poorhouse. That's spelled P-O-U-R, house. I had a couple of screwdrivers, which is my norm, and a shot of champagne that everybody had at the end to toast the new year. It was an interesting evening, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. The title for today, the very first one of the new year for me, is going to piss some people off, and I can't help it. I have to share what I believe is the truth, even if there's a whole bunch of people that don't believe what I'm going to share is the truth. The title is Peace and Second Amendment Rights. Peace without freedom is not peace. How can there be peace when rights are denied, including the right to self-defense? Okay, I can see a world where this is a meaningless conversation, but we don't live in that world. Not yet, anyway. We live in a world that is still, unfortunately, governed by those with an insane agenda. Like it or not, and I don't, that is the truth of the Matrix. All of those clamoring for gun confiscation at this time fail to see the big and current picture, as well as the horrendous history of genocide that has always followed the outlawing of weapons of self-defense by those that butchered the very people they had made defenseless. Correcting an error. I took an oath of office to uphold the Constitution, which I take very seriously, especially the Bill of Rights. I posted a picture purposefully on my Facebook page yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Time, quite honestly, gets away from me now because it all seems to just merge together, and it's hard for me sometimes to even remember what day it is. But in any case, I posted this picture that has a man wearing a shirt, and it's the Gun Owners of America t-shirt, and it says, if guns kill people, then pencils misspell words. Cars make people drive drunk. Spoons make Rosie O'Donnell fat. As of this moment, there are 188 comments in the thread. 55 people liked it, 20 people shared it. And I'm pretty sure that was put up yesterday, although it doesn't. Let me just see if it gives up further up. No, it doesn't give the time. When I say yesterday, I mean Sunday, because today is Tuesday, but it's been up for less than 2 days. A whole lot of people are totally against what I'm saying. All sorts of people saying, how could you post that, Ron? How could you post that? I thought you were a man of peace. And as I said in my blurb, peace without freedom is not peace. You have to understand, first of all, our history. Whenever guns have been outlawed in any country, which has always happened prior to a genocide, always they outlawed the weapons. They took the weapons away from the people, whether it was in Europe, whether it was in Asia, whether it was in Africa, wherever it has been. When they've taken guns away from the people, genocide happens or crime increases. That's a fact. I don't care what you think about it. That's a fact. Incontrovertible fact. People, when they cannot defend themselves, become vulnerable to criminals. And I want you to know that the criminals that are most dangerous are criminals that sit in government seats of power and command armies and command police forces and other people that have weapons. The only reason the United States of America does not have martial law in 2013 on New Year's Day is because the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights still stands, and it hasn't been thrown out. Now, I want you to know that that school shooting in Connecticut, as well as many other mass murders that make headlines, are planned events. They are not accidental events. They are planned events. Problem, reaction, solution. The government commits the crime in order to get the people to clamor for the solution that the government wants. And the solution that the government wants is to disarm America. And as Max Egan said in his wonderful message a few days ago, if America falls, the whole world falls with it. It is because of freedom in America, the freedom for self-defense, that America does not have martial law imposed. Oh, the powers that be would love to impose martial law and take away freedom from citizens and the freedom to bear arms. And when and if they were to accomplish that, America is destroyed. America is destroyed, and you will not see peace on earth. I guarantee it. You will see the greatest bloodshed in the history of the world. Because the plan of the people that rule the world, and they put it out there in public, it's on the Georgia Guidestones, is to have a world population of 500 million people. 500 million people is the ideal population, and that would mean they'd have to kill 6.5 billion people. And that's their game plan. And I want to see peace on earth. But as long as these people remain in power, and it saddens me deep in my heart that these people are still in power in 2013. I honestly did not believe that would be the case. I honestly did not believe it. And I don't believe that Obama is a good guy. Maybe he will repent, as my video yesterday showed me, that some of these high people, and Obama was not the person that I saw in the dream. I would have recognized him. I don't know who the man was, but I'm told, and my sense is, that he was very high up in calling the shots on this world. And his son was crucified upside down, which means everything is being turned the other way. The son of the dark forces, saying you've got to now do 40 acts of kindness. You got to help 40 people a day. That was the message. I want peace on earth, but I don't want it at the cost of human slavery. And the rights that were guaranteed in the Constitution of the United States, especially the Honorable Bill of Rights, that is the foundation and the bedrock of freedom for the whole world. As America goes, the world will go. Max Egan had it right. Listen to his message. Google it. It's spelled I-G-A-N. Max is his first name. From Australia. He got it right. listen to him. And you need to pay attention. Maybe you live in a nice place where you don't have to lock your doors. Maybe you don't live in fear. I didn't live in fear either until I had a policeman break into my house, come into my house on May the 27th last year, tackle me on the floor in my front, it's right inside of my front door, put my arm behind my back so that it took months for my arm, the mobility in my arm to be restored, and it's still not 100% back to where it was. Still, and that was May the 27th in 2011. I know what these people do. And it's the government that we need to protect ourselves against. It's not petty criminals. Yes, there are petty criminals. And they are created by the government too because of the financial system in our world. And until we deal with these issues, we must maintain the rights as guaranteed in the Constitution of the United States. We, as especially in America, must maintain that. We are not bloodthirsty. We are not violent people. Yes, there's violence, and that's also bred into us. It's a brainwashing through the television and through the video games and everything else. It's part of our culture, and it's on purpose. These are the things that we have to deal with in the real world. A spirituality that is only airy-fairy and wishful thinking will not cut the mustard. It will not get us where we need to be and where we need to go. We need to know the truth because only the truth will set us free. And there are people in this world that hold very high positions still to this day in 2013 on New Year's Day. Still, they hold positions and their game plan is destruction. Their game plan is to undermine freedoms. Their game plan is to reduce the world population. That's why they have chemtrails. That's why they are genetically modifying our food. That's why they put poison in our medicines. That's why they put fluoride in our drinks. It's all about taking and repressing the mind and repressing freedom to get us to be apathetic and to get us to think airy-fairy thoughts that are not going to work in the real world. We need to put our boots on the ground. We need to stand up for our rights, and not just in America, but around the world, but especially in America, because we have the foundation that other countries don't have. It is a beautiful foundation from the foresight of our forefathers who saw what was coming and realized that the greatest criminality was going to come first from the bankers and then from the government itself when the bankers controlled the government. There's no fiscal cliff that we're facing, folks. There's no fiscal cliff. And the violence is violence that is on purpose, created by the people that are entrusted with our leadership positions. And our mass media is lying to us. Our religions are lying to us. And everybody that's telling you that it's all going to go away by wishful thinking has their head in the sand or up their butt, and they need to wake up. I'm sorry to have to give you such a hard message on New Year's Day. But the very commentary on the video, on that t-shirt that I posted on Sunday, the very commentary shows how people are still apathetic and still misled and still buy into the matrix. The only way out of the matrix, unfortunately, I wish it could come from wishful thinking. I wish it could come from praying alone. I wish it could. But it's going to require, I'm afraid, I'm sorry to say, it's going to require people standing up for their rights. And it may require some bloodshed because people that stand up for their rights are not going to be liked by those that want to take the rights away, including me. They might not like what I'm saying, but I still have a First Amendment right to freedom of speech and freedom of religion and freedom of conscience. I still have that right. And I'm going to exercise it as long as I can, and I'm going to tell the truth. You may not like the truth. You may think that guns are the problem. Guns are not the problem. Neither are they the solution. Guns are merely a tool. And it's important that we maintain, what was it called? mad, mutually assured destruction, when Russia and the United States were involved in this big Cold War, and they each had enough bombs to blow the whole world up many times over, and it was because each of them had the power to do it to the other one that neither of them did it to each other. It's the same thing in the United States. The military and the police are being armed to the teeth. Thank God there are American people that are arming themselves to the teeth. That's not my job, and it's not my desire. I don't own a gun, don't intend to own a gun. But I'm so glad that there are people that do. That's their role. That's their mission in life, and I honor them for it. And there are people in the military and people in the police forces that will not obey the orders if the orders are actually given to start arresting the American people and confiscating their guns. The guns are a deterrent against the tyranny of government. That's the purpose of the Second Amendment. It's not about petty crime and criminals. It's about standing up to the government and claiming our natural rights and bringing it to the place where we can use reason instead of coercion and force, where we stand on equal ground. It's important that we have as much as possible, equal ground in the way of weapons till we don't need weapons anymore. That's what we all long for. That's what we all want to see, where we don't any longer need to arm ourselves for any reason. But that world isn't here yet. That world isn't here yet. And until it's here, we need to protect ourselves. We need to have the means of self-defense. And that is arming ourselves for the most part. And I'm not telling those of you that aren't armed to go out and get armed. Not everybody has to do it, but there have to be people that do it. And those are the people that hold the balance and keep the equilibrium on the planet until the change happens of consciousness and of our hearts, where we no longer would even entertain the idea of hurting each other or hurting any life. But we're not there yet. Think about what I'm saying. Or have you already turned it off? I wonder how many people actually pay attention when it's something they don't want to hear. I leave you with these thoughts. Namaste. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.